Yeah, and you're at least the other jab. Lots of jabs, nothing landed. However, Canelo is moving and not.
From fighting in his home country for the first time in 12 years to making a huge financial sacrifice, Saul Alvarez's next fight has everyone excited. Let's get into everything you need to know about the showdown. For starters, who is he going up against? Fans can expect to see Canelo Alvarez go up against John Ryder next. In case you're wondering who Ryder is,
middleweight champion of the world, John the Gorilla Ryder.
He's the interim WBO super middleweight champion. It's definitely huge that Alvarez is going up against him, especially because it's the WBO mandatory defense for the Mexican for his undisputed title at 168 pounds. Another reason why this fight is so important is that Alvarez just had surgery on his left wrist a few months ago.
I had these issues since the Caleb Plant fight.
October 2022 to be exact. It looks like his win over Gennady Golovkin came at a cost. Still, it looks like the champion managed to recover well, considering that he started training for this bout in January. Now the fight is scheduled for May 2023, and it looks like Alvarez is feeling pretty good after surgery. One thing's for sure, it's clear that Canelo is very determined this time, especially after his loss to Dimitri Bivol last year.
Pulled off the performance of the lifetime and beat a man that will go down.
Bivol defeated Canelo by a unanimous decision back in Cinco de Mayo weekend last year. It looks like this rematch is what Alvarez wants most this year, and it makes sense, considering he lost the WBA light heavyweight title to Dimitri Bivol last year. The bout took place on the 7th of May 2022, and it was a huge deal for Alvarez and his fans. I mean, everyone was so excited to see the pound-for-pound king back in the game. The four-division world champion was having an incredible run in his career, and even won the WBA title at light heavyweight by knocking out Sergey Kovalev in 2019.
To move his head because Kovalev's not even committing to the... Here it is. Kovalev's hurt. Kovalev's down.
Canelo has never been one to confine himself to one category, so he went back to super middleweight and became the undisputed king of WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO. You'd think the beast was done after winning all these belts, but no, he needed a fresh challenger at the light heavyweight level. That's precisely why Canelo Alvarez went up against Dimitri Bivol, who has an insane record. Bivol was unbeaten at the time, with a stellar 19-0 record. Did I mention 11 of those were KOs? One thing's for sure, this fight had everyone on the edge of their seats. Canelo was still looking forward to it though. Before the fight, he talked about how he was very happy about this fight against Dimitri Bivol. It makes sense why Alvarez thought that, especially because he's going up in weight. To him, Bivol is exceptional. The best part is, the feeling was going both ways. Even Dimitri Bivol admitted that he was very excited about the fight. He told the fans that he was going to be ready, just like he always is. He also let them know that the fans will have a lot of fun on Cinco de Mayo weekend. It looks like Bivol is finally getting what he wants, to fight the best. As for how the fight went, well, the two fighters gave their all on the day of the bout, but in the end, Bivol ended up retaining his undefeated record. Alvarez suffered the second loss of his career. 2 losses in your whole career aren't bad, but it looks like Alvarez took it extra hard, considering his last loss was in 2013 against Floyd Mayweather. The Mexican wants a rematch, though, this time for Canelo's undisputed super middleweight titles. It looks like it might be on the schedule for 2023 if things work out. Now, more about the Ryder fight this year. It's going to be on the 6th of May in Mexico. Yep, you heard that right. It's no secret that Saul Canelo Alvarez loves his home country. He's made it a point to let everyone know that. The last time he fought on Mexican soil was the 5th-round TKO win against Kermit Citral in 2011.
Alvarez.
Yeah, he seemed like he's dead tired. Like that.
Good combination by Alvarez. And the
Kermit and Saw went up against each other at the Monumental Plaza de Toros, Mexico, in Mexico City. Just a few days ago, Jalisco-born Alvarez told everyone that he's ready to return to his homeland and defend his titles there. He even filmed a whole video about his upcoming fights with the governor of Jalisco, so you know he's serious about this. If you ask me, it's amazing that Alvarez can finally fight in his hometown, especially because he's wanted this for a long time. He's had a long year, with the third fight against Gennady Golovkin and having to get surgery on his hand. Now, even though nothing is confirmed yet, the fight will probably be in Estadio Akron or Jalisco Stadium. These are the only two venues that can hold a crowd large enough for Alvarez's much-awaited fight. Eddie Hearn, his promoter, has been hyping this fight up for a while now. He also made sure to let everyone know that Canelo really wants to have this fight in Mexico, even though the purse is considerably lesser. He's going to take a pay cut for fighting in Guadalajara. That's how you know he really wants this to happen. Before the fight, though, here are some things you should know. The interim super middleweight champion of the WBO, Alvarez's opponent, has a great record with 32 wins and 55 losses. Most probably, the fight will take place at Jalisco Stadium, which has a capacity of 55,000 fans. Fans in Mexico are going to be at an advantage because the ticket prices will be lesser than the ones in Las Vegas. For example, in Vegas, tickets can go for anywhere between $705 and even $5,000. That's going to be impossible in Mexico, especially because $1 costs about 19 pesos. It's common sense. The tickets are going to be a lot cheaper. Having the fight in Mexico is going to have another disadvantage for Alvarez. Other than the pay cut, he's going to have difficulties with sponsorships for the fight, which will compensate for the difference between the box office prices. The next big problem he's going to face is that Ryder doesn't have a big card. Normally, this would be fine, but this matchup definitely won't have the same kind of pay-per-view appeal as normal ones in the United States. Again, this creates problems for Alvarez, especially when it comes to revenue. Last year, with his fights against Dmitry Bivol and Gennady Golovkin, alone he earned a whopping $85 million from Matchroom. He won't be getting close to the same numbers this time. Either way, it looks like things are going smoothly for the fight to take place in Mexico. There are just a few things left to finalize the fight, which will probably take place at the Monumento Estadio Jalisco, and I personally can't wait. Mark your calendars for the 6th of May because I've done the same. I just can't wait to see Alvarez back and hopefully defeat John Ryder. I know the fans in Mexico are excited more than usual, especially because they look up to Canelo so much. He's one of the great symbols of Mexican sports, and rightfully so. Wherever the fight takes place, the stadium is sure to be packed with Canelo supporters. Once this fight in Mexico is over, and Alvarez wins, hopefully, I can't wait to see what else is in store for the fighter this year. The WBC has even scheduled a title eliminator between David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. Why is that? To determine the next mandatory challenger for Canelo's WBC super middleweight title. Of course, the winner of that fight will also be in the running to face Canelo in 2023. It's going to be a busy year for him. And that's all I have for Saul Canelo Alvarez's upcoming fights this year.